How you doing, guys? Wanted to talk about a new film. Well, not a new one, but a old one from the year 2000. A a film that's gotten away from people and they don't know about it, or you don't really hear about it much. It's one that slid under the radar. It kind of slid under the radar over the years. It was popular during that time, but after that it just kind of it slid under the radar, and you didn't really hear about it much after that. So it was kind of sad, because it had potential and it was a good film, and there were a lot of known actors in the movie. Actors like Giovanni Ribisi and Greg Kinnear, or is it Greg Kinnear? Greg Kinnear, Keanu Reeves, he's in there. Gary Cole, who plays a lawyer, and he does a good job of it. Definitely hateable. A film that gets no credit whatsoever. It sort of a murder mystery, but also there's some horror aspects in there. So it's like a horror film, but it's also a mystery and supernatural also as well, because she's sort of psychic and she could read people's minds. She could read, not minds, but she could read what's gonna happen, basically. The character Annie Wilkes, played by I recognize everybody else but her. She sort of reminds you of Anne Heche. Kate Blanchett. She is definitely recognizable. I've seen her at other stuff, so. But yeah, you also got Katie Holmes in there, who's dating the teacher, played by Greg Kinnear. Greg, what the fuck is his name? Yeah, it's Greg Kinnear. Yeah. She's dating him, and it's sort of at the same time, it's not proper. She's younger than him. He's a teacher. He should not be dating someone who's like in high school. So, I mean, she looks like she should be in high school. I don't know if that's correct, but yeah, Katie Holmes is definitely a younger character who loves older men who have money, something like that. Keanu Reeves is sort of the husband of Hilary Swank, who is also in there, who she's going to get her reading done by Kate Blanchett, who is the psychic reader of the town, and they call her a witch and they throw stones at her. They're mean to her. She's got 3 boys, I believe. She's trying to feed them. She's trying her best. She is. And Hilary Swank, she's going to get her reading done from her, and most of it is about her problems and the way her boyfriend, played by Keanu Reeves, Donnie Barksdale, is a abusive, woman-beating shithead. So like he'll slap her around and he'll beat her, and It gets her in trouble. It gets Kate Blanchett in trouble. It gets Annabelle in trouble. Annie Wilkes. Annie Wilkes, yeah. It gets her in trouble because I can't even really say that it's her fault for going to her, because she feels a sense of protection from her. So it's like she should not feel ashamed to go to her at all. She shouldn't. But it's just like it also interferes with her life, interferes with her kids. It puts her in a sense of danger, and that's just kind of shitty, because we'll see that Donnie Barksdale, Keanu Reeves, the character, is a shithead, threatening shithead, a drunk, an asshole, a woman beater, a womanizer, and he'll go and he'll beat his wife, and if she goes to Annie Barksdale to get a psychic reading, he gets pissed off. And it's like, okay, it's like, you have no reason to be pissed off, first of all. And second of all, it's beating on a fucking woman that's pretty weak. Like, that is like the weakest of the weak. That's like, head down. We're going downhill from there. That's fucking weak, bro. So, yeah, Donnie Barksdale is a pussy and a bitch. Completely. He beats her for finding out that she went to her, Annie Wilkes, for a psychic reading, apparently. I don't know why that makes you mad. Okay. She went to get a psychic reading. I guess that makes you angry. Okay, maybe she'll find something out about you. How about that? But you also have some other interesting characters in there, like, well, Greg Kinnear is the teacher of the school. He's the teacher who was dating Jessica Holmes. And, she's like practically a student of his. She might as well have been a student of his, because she's like really young as it is. She's pretty fucking young. Yeah, Jessica King. She is a younger actress. We got Hilary Swank. Yeah, Hilary Swank was abused by her husband, played by Keanu Reeves. And he's a shithead through the whole movie. He's a complete shithead. I really hate this part for him. But what I will say is that he plays it very well. Like, Keanu Reeves, he plays it very well. He's really good at this role. Very good. Again, this was a childhood favorite of mine, so it's like I know about these roles, and but it's been a while since I watched it, so still I was never able to get it out of my mind. Keanu Reeves playing this shithead who just stalks her, and he'll put like dominoes on her bed that says "You are Satan" or something like that. It was like, "You are a witch." He hates her, but he's also a woman beater, so there is that. He's not better than her. Gary Cole's the lawyer who later on tries to defend everybody. He does a good job at it. He really does. He did a good job at defending. There's a funny spot in there where Keanu Reeves he's a woman beater, So Gary Cole says to him, um, I'm not really sure what the proper words were, but it was something along the lines of, oh, no, it was, you know what, I'll get to that in a minute. I will. But, later on, though, Greg Kinnear plays a psycho. Like, he does do a good job at that. Like, he's crazy looking. Like, you know, through the entire movie, he has guilt in his eyes, and you can tell that he was hiding something, and he felt bad about it. So there is that. Like, he had something on his mind. He could not get it off. And Keanu Reeves gets the blame mostly. Like, he's in court for it and for killing Katie Holmes, her character, Jessica King. He's in court for killing Jessica King, and he didn't do it. He did not do it. We know he didn't do it because, well, it would be too obvious if he did. So, you know, it's cool at the end. I love this movie. I really love this movie. I do. I'll get to the end. Right now, I would like to talk about the beginning, because I love this movie. I really love this movie. You know, Annie Wilkes, she's a vulnerable character who she's got these kids to feed, and it's hard to put food on the table at times, and things aren't going good. She doesn't have a man in her life because he died. It's just hard to live. It's hard to put food. It's a small town, and she's got all these kids, and they're having trouble in school. But she's also doing what she can for them. She's doing everything in her power to take care of the kids and put food on the table and make sure they have a happy life, even if it's peanut butter on bread, which that meal smacks. Even if it's that, she's like doing what she can. She's doing everything in her power to make her kids happy, and she's also doing these psychic readings. And one of the characters who needs a psychic reading is Giovanni Ribisi's character, who was in X-Files. DPO, Darren Peter Oswald, the guy who can like control lightning, and like he could like strut people with lightning. He can just kill them just like that. He was also in Mind Ripper. Also in a show called Sneaky Pete, which I have not watched, so I don't know much about Sneaky Pete, but from what I did see, I saw some trailers of it. He looks like he does good in it, so. And Giovanni Ribisi is a very talented actor. He's done so well over the years, and nobody gives him any recognition. Nobody talks about him. It's one of those guys, again, who slid under the radar, and you don't hear about him. But he's very good. Very good. I love him in this fucking movie. I do. He plays a crazy guy, kind of a... He was sexually abused by his father, and you kind of find that out later, because he's like, to Kate Blanchett's character, Annie Wilkes, he's like, why do I keep seeing a blue diamond? Am I gonna die? I keep seeing a blue diamond. And then later on, we see him whipping his father, like whipping him with a belt, ready to pour gasoline on him and set him on fire. And he's shirtless, and we see that his father has a blue diamond, like on his stomach. That was messed up. That was really messed up. So you could tell that his father was abusive sexually, and he abused him, and he was not a good person at all. That was bad. That was really, really bad. I can't think of anybody who would want to do that to their kid. That's low. Real low. Yeah, it's the blue diamond. Yeah, no, it's like on his father's stomach and you see it. And then it kind of clicks to you and it's like, shit. Bro, that's bad. You deserve your fucking nuts chopped off and put them in a fucking Pepsi can. I don't care. That's fucking wrong. And, Keanu Reeves is a dick. Donnie Barksdale, of course, who also beats on Hilary Swanks, who's going to he's mad that she's getting a psychic reading. I don't understand why you're mad that she's getting a psychic reading. Okay, whatever, but if his wife goes to Annie Wilkes, he gets mad. He doesn't like it. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to like it, but you're really abusive. Like, there's one scene where he finds out that Hilary Swank's character is getting a reading from Annie Wilkes, and he doesn't like it, so he goes in, he barges in, all violent. He pulls her out by her hair. He's just really mean about it, you know. He's just a dick. That's it. Keanu Reeves. This is not one of his best roles, but I'd say it's one of his best dickish roles. We'll put it that way. Like, because I mean, he has better movies. He does. But would I say this is a good Keanu Reeves movie? No, I would not. It's not a good Keanu Reeves movie. It's not. It's definitely not. It's I don't have a fun time with it for a Keanu Reeves film. I don't. I just, you know, he's had better movies. You know, Matrix, Point Break, Speed, just Hardball, which I recently reviewed. He's had better movies, and it's like, this is just not one of his better roles. But he does a good job at portraying a psycho, woman-beating asshole. So there's that. I'll give him that. He plays a good woman-beater asshole. I'm not going to leave out the asshole part, so he does good there. And you know, even though he was a woman beater asshole who beat on women, he did beat the shit out of Jessica King, played by Katie Holmes. But he wasn't the killer, because there is a murder mystery there's a murder mystery in the making, and it's up to Annie Wilkes to solve this with her psychic readings and her psychic visions. She has visions in her sleep. She envisions her grandmother at one point. Her grandmother, who died a while ago, and she could see her, and she, I don't remember what she said to her. There was something she said to her, but she gave her she said something. I don't quite remember what the words were, but that was an effective scene, though. It was, I still remember it, so. One of the scenes that stands out the most to me is when, because Hilary Swank keeps coming to Annie Wilkes to get her psychic reading. She wants to get her reading done. She's, curious about her life, and she's curious about what will go on in her life, and, well, Donnie Barksdale doesn't like it. So we see Keanu Reeves pulling up next to her house, and he's like stalking her. This guy spends a majority of the fucking movie stalking her and harassing her. Maybe he should have went for a psychic reading to, talk about what a psycho he is. He needed that, so he's waiting outside, and one of her sons walks out to maybe take the garbage out or something, and he's in the truck with another guy, and they're drunks and they're drinking, and one's got a gun. So they're stalking her, and it's wrong. What you have anything better to do in your fucking life than sit out somebody else's house? You're sitting outside of her house. So he's a douchebag, and her son walks out to do something, I don't know what, maybe take the garbage out or something, and Keanu Reeves, Donnie Barksdale, sees him. He's like, "Hey son, wanna come in the truck? Come on. Yo, your mom, she's a witch, and someday someone's gonna burn her up." So he's talking all these mean things, talking all this nonsense, and he's a dick. A complete dickwad. If you want to watch Keanu Reeves as a complete dickwad, this is a good movie. I much prefer John Wick or Matrix, but this is a good one for him being a dick. I hate it too. I really hate it, but still a good movie. And he throws something at the boy. He throws his hat at him. He's like, "Here, give me my hat." And the boy picks up the hat and he hands it to him, and that's when he says, "Listen, someday your mama, someone's gonna burn her up." And then we see Giovanni Ribisi's character, who I love the most. My favorite character in this whole fucking movie is Giovanni Ribisi, because of how awesome he is. He does such a good job in this movie. I love him in this movie. I love Giovanni Ribisi. I loved him in Friends. I loved him in X-Files. I loved him in Mind Ripper. He's a good actor. He's very underutilized over the years. Very underutilized, very underused. You don't hear about him anymore. It's sad. He slid under the radar hardcore, and he does so good here. So good as a guy who's very unstable and not in the best of mindsets, very mentally ill, mentally unstable, a guy who's not having it. But if you hurt the people he loves, he will defend them. So we see the boy feel threatened, and what's his name? Buddy Cole pulls up in his pickup truck, because he's a garage worker, but he's a mechanic type, and the little boy says to Buddy Cole, asks the boy, "Are you alright, Miller?" And he's like, "He says someday they're gonna burn Mama up," or something like that. Sorry, I'm bad with my impersonations, but Buddy gets out of his truck. He's got a fucking golf club, and he just goes and smacks their truck. The driver has a gun on him, so he could easily pull the gun out. He doesn't. Wait. Donnie takes the gun and he aims it at Buddy. Buddy's like, shoot me, motherfucker, I've got nothing to live for. It's basically like that. It's kind of like that. Like he's got a death wish, sort of like Riggs in Lethal Weapon. It's kind of like that. And you could tell he's got nothing to live for, but he cares for Annie. He cares for her kids. He gives a shit. And of course they're scared, so they pull away quick. Because this guy's not having it. He's not having it. The Buddy's not having it. The character cares about Annie and her family and what her boys go through. It matters to him. And great part in the movie where he defends the family. Excellent part. And he should have won he should have won something for this role. I'm telling you, this role, I'm not sure if he won something for it, but he should have. He deserved to win something for it. The actors in this movie, this is one of those movies where it slid under the radar a lot. And nobody won anything for it because why? Because it's a fucking supernatural movie. I don't know why they look down on it, but it's a sort of supernatural horror film with lots of touches of drama, and there's also lots of touches of emotion too. So there's a lot of that. You definitely get the emotion part. Giovanni Ribisi comes off as a character who's very emotional a lot of the time. Like he sees things that are not there and he needs her help. And she can't help him unless he can help himself first. He has to accept it. It's what it comes down to. At one point he screams at her in the movie. You know, she's doing his reading, and he's like mad because sometimes I can't tell my head from my soul, or something like that. And she says something, and he's like, well, you're the goddamn psychic, help me. And the guy gets super mad. He's really scary, like really scary. Like the way he defends Miller, like he takes a bat and he smashes their window, and he's like, come, shoot me, motherfucker, shoot me. But he's also got a heart to him, and he's defending them. He's defending Annie's family and her boys, and he gives a shit. You know, later we find out that the real killer is, again, spoilers if we're going into this, Greg Kinnear's character, Wayne Collins, who's a principal at the school, and you know, he was the one who was dating Jessica King, played by Katie Holmes. And he's also abused her too. He smacked her too. We see that in the memories. He beat her and he hit her. Donnie Barksdale did too, but it was more like, okay, we can see him for who he is already, because he's a woman-beaten scumbag, and there's nothing to hide there. But you know, Greg Kinnear's character, he's the well put together suit and tie, well put together school teacher type, who's a principal also, and who has a bit of money. So you know, that was definitely a mystery too there. So everyone's a suspect, just like what everyone's a suspect, just like Jamie Kennedy says in Scream. everybody is a suspect. So it's like literally everybody is a suspect, literally. You know, you got your weird lawyer who's also abusive. You got your crazy guy who is friends with Annie, but he's also looking out for her family, played by Giovanni Ribisi. And you also have Donnie Barksdale, who beats his wife and who was mad when she goes in for a psychic reading. Greg Kinnear, who's the school principal. Gary Cole, who's the lawyer, and he's also weird. He also was with her. He was with Katie Holmes at one point, and we see that in the beginning, that he was with her sexually, and he had intercourse with her. And so, yeah, we also think he could be involved. What sells this movie the most is Giovanni Ribisi. Like, he literally sells this fucking movie. He really does. I like Cate Blanchett, I do. I think she's a good actress, but Giovanni Ribisi and her worked very well together. Very well. And Keanu Reeves brought a sense of spice to the proceedings. Being a guy that, okay, this is like the guy from The Matrix and the guy from Point Break and Bill and Ted and all these other good roles. He's always a good guy. He's like always a good guy. So it was like weird to see him as a bad guy, but he pulled it off very well. He pulled it off very well. I was surprised by that. I was. He made this movie, and Giovanni Ribisi made the movie, and I do think Cate Blanchett made the movie too. I think Greg Kinnear played a character that he did a good job playing a character who's a school teacher, principal, who you would not expect to be a serial killer. So that was kind of cool too. Again, he wasn't really a serial killer because he killed one woman, but you know, it's a killer mystery, so to speak. So it's not really a serial killer movie like what do you say, Jennifer 8, which I also love with who's that guy? I know Lance Henriksen's in there. Yeah, it's been a while since I watched that, Jennifer 8. A while. But this is kind of like that. Kind of. Like, it's like a Jennifer 8. Like, she's psychic. Where Jennifer 8 is blind. And, you know, she can, like, sense some things nearby. Hilary Swank, again, a great actress. Last thing I saw her in was, I believe... Well, I've seen her in a lot of movies. I know she's in Buffy. I guess Kim Dickens is in there too. And again, Gary Cole's kind of a dick. Kind of like a dick lawyer. And he's confronting Donnie Darksdale at one point, and he's like, and Donnie's like, I didn't hit her, I smacked her. I'm not a woman beater. And Gary Cole's like, oh, I'm sorry. You smacked her, you hit her. Well, what does it have to be a woman beater? It was something funny like, just how hard do you have to hit a woman to be a woman beater? Okay, you're still a fucking woman beater, so it was something like that, something along those lines. I don't quite remember, but so yeah, the cast did a good job. I was very impressed by Keanu Reeves. It is a thriller mystery. but more of a supernatural thriller mystery. Supernatural serial killer mystery. That's the right wording to use. And Kate Blanchett did a great job as Annie Wilkes. Katie Holmes, a great job as Jessica King, a girl who was abused and killed and thrown into the... She's also the victim of the movie, who was thrown into the water and abused and murdered. Keanu Reeves as Donnie Barksdale, who's very much the small town drunk, and he'll go and he'll mess with Annie and fuck with other people and beat women. A low life. Hilary Swank, played by Valerie Barksdale. Giovanni Ribisi, my favorite part of the entire movie. And the reason why I did not give away the best part of the movie is because I want you to go watch it. So do yourself a favor and go watch it. It's so memorable. You'll never forget it. You'll never forget it. Watch The Gift. Watch The Gift, please. Giovanni Ribisi blows this away. I love that actor. He gets no recognition. He gives no fucking credit. He deserves it here, doesn't he? We don't hear about him anymore. He does good here. Greg Kinnear, who played by Wayne... Greg Kinnear playing Wayne Collins, the school principal, who we find out later on is the murderer. Well, not murderer, but he beat up his girl and he killed her because she was hurtful to him and he didn't like it, so he killed her. Well, you know what? Maybe you should have had some self-control, bro. And Gary Cole, who's a lawyer, playing David Duncan. Yeah, David Duncan, that is. Kim Dickens as Linda, who's her friend who goes to the, she goes to the dance with her and stuff. There's a dance in the beginning, she goes with her. I know the guy from, I recognize him. Yeah, Michael Jeter was in there. Michael Jeter was in there playing a lawyer, also. Also, J.K. Simmons. I recognize those two. Rosemary Harris was the grandmother of Annie Wilkes, who we saw in, I believe, Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. I could very well be mistaken, but it looks like her. A great movie with a familiar cast and memorable moments, and you know, Kate Blanchett did a good job, and Giovanni Ribisi's memorable with his psychotic sort of role. This film delves deep into the psyche, lets you know what all the characters are going through at times, because it'll showcase what they're all going through, and it definitely doesn't shy away from how they feel, because one's psycho and one is kind of emotional, and one will break into her house and threaten her, and they don't hold back on the whole character thing. So everybody is their own character. Katie Holmes was definitely the slut who got around the school and she liked it. Kate Blanchett took care of her kids. Everyone calls her a fucking witch because she is doing psychic readings to put food on the table for her fucking children. I'm sitting there like, she didn't do shit wrong, dude. She could do readings, okay? She could do readings. That's okay. Let her make some money off of it. Let her get some food for her kids. You know, what do you care? Like, why the fuck do you care? Why? Tell me why. Giovanni Ribisi is the best part of the movie, easily, hands down. the best part of the movie is Giovanni Ribisi. Gary Cole does a good job at playing a lawyer too. Definitely the kind of lawyer that's like, oh, you're a dick. Like, you're just a dick. So yeah, there's some memorable faces in there that you'll never forget, and it's a good story. Keanu Reeves definitely has a way of getting under your skin through the beginning of the movie too, so. But yeah, I'm going to end the video here. I wanted to discuss this movie a little bit because it's a movie that slid under the radar for a long period of time. It came out in 2000, so, you know, during the 2000s there were a lot of other movies that came out. So many movies were out during that time that this just got unknown. It just was not there for people. And that's sad, because it is a good movie. It does have potential. The actors had a lot of potential here, and you know, a lot of them were Grammy worthy, if you want to call it that. A lot of them were Golden Globe worthy, even. I don't know how else to put it, other than this is a really great movie that should have gone farther. It never did. It pisses me off. I'll leave it there. But yeah, no, that's a great movie. Just watch The Gift from 2000. A very memorable, emotional at times movie. Do watch The Gift, because it doesn't really get the recognition it deserves. Like, we don't hear about it anymore. It deserves more. It does. Thank you for watching if you did, and let me know what your thoughts are down below. If you like the film, okay. If you don't like the film, okay. I don't understand how you can't, but we'll see. Thank you.